Now for our fourth presenter and finishing off our first block, I'd like to welcome John Wauchup. Wauchup. Very sorry. From CV Constructions, and he's heading a sustainable building company here in Adelaide, and they're passionate about creating quality construction and fire responsible homes. They've built a lot of homes around here in the Adelaide metro area, and we're really pleased to have you talk about one of theirs open this Sunday. Here you are, John.
Yeah. Just waiting for the first slide. Here we are.
Here we go.
Lovely. So this is our house at Piccadilly. Now it's actually under construction, so we're probably about 85% of the way through it. But we thought it was a really good opportunity to show people what a sustainable house looks like when it's still not quite finished, when all the before all the finishes are on, so they can actually see the bones of the house a little bit. So, building intent. So Stuart came to us and he said, I want to build a sustainable house. I want it to have sustainable materials. The big thing for him was the focus on the energy retention inside the house. So essentially encapsulating the inside energy and keeping it that way regardless of what's going on. He actually grew up on the block next door, so he knows exactly what it's like to grow up on the backside of Mount Lofty. The design theme, he's got a lot of recycled timber throughout. We've sourced that from dismantled jetties, roads, bridges. And so I'll show you a couple of slides of those. Fire safety is a big one because Ash Wednesday literally came through the block where the house is, and obviously the pleasure of use of the space. So some quick stats, it's 7 stars. It will actually need to be re-measured because that was based on aluminium windows, and I convinced him to change them to UPVC, which was good. And insulated concrete formwork construction, or ICF, for future use. It's a healthy home, I'll go into that a bit more later. UPVC double glazing, it's solar fed, and it's entirely fed by captured water, so it's not connected to mains water. Now he's a little bit lucky in that he's got the Piccadilly Springs next door that he can tap into, so it's not quite as impressive. But there's also ventilation and a ducted fireplace, because with a home this sealed, if you actually have a standard stove, then it'll actually eat up all the oxygen inside the house, so we've had to duct the area in. So, sustainable materials. The foundations, it's an insulated edge with the blockwork to stop leaks out the side. The walls are the ICF blockwork, and it's made entirely of recycled materials. The windows are UPVC double glazed. The roof is heavily insulated using roof blanket and sealed eaves as well, and it's got recycled timber work throughout the building. So the foundations, it's an insulated slab edge, and it helps prevent the heat loss and gain through the exposed concrete. It's actually quite an overlooked feature, but that little sort of 70 to 100 mil edge on the side of the building, a lot of energy is lost through there. So we actually put down half a course of the block first, as you can see there in a rebate, and then we actually waterproof and termite proof up against that. So that's what it looks like once you put the next block on. It looks like, looks as good as new. You wouldn't know that it's there. So the walls. Now it's a Durisol ICF wall construction. At the moment we have to import it from overseas because it's not made locally, but it's made of 85% recycled timber, 15% Portland cement, so that's it. The recycled timber is being mineralised, which means they suck the nutrients out of it. It's just wood fibre. So termites don't touch it, it doesn't burn, nothing like that. It's highly energy efficient, it's got healthy occupancy, it's extremely durable, and it's really easy to build with, which is great for us. So this is what it looks like. This is the ground floor slab where the basement is, and as you can see, we just stack the blocks around, and the boys just keep building it up. So that took them about 4 days, 3 guys, 4 days. It's about 180 square metres of wall there, and then another couple of days later, they had it up to this stage. So this is the basement level at 3 metres, and then from there, we just concrete fill the walls, and away we go. And I'll jump a little bit ahead in time. This is the second story once we built that up. So that's at 3 metres, and you can see we've got cross bracing and everything like that ready for the concrete pour. We just get a boom pump and we walk it round, and it's done in a couple of hours. So that's, there's quite a lot of concrete in that building, and it's extremely strong. Now the windows, I think I missed a slide, that's okay. UPVC double glazing, so there's standard dekerning profiles. It uses low E glass, and it's a U value of 1.8. It's locally manufactured. Now that's not the best U value you can get. You can actually import glass from overseas, which we like to do, budget permitting, there we are. And that gets you U values of between 0.6 and 0.8. But locally, that's about as good as you can get. And it's good because they've got the local labour too, obviously helps support the local guys. So that's what it looks like. You might recognise that photo, that's the one on the website. But those are the windows there. So they're de Kooning profiles, they're UPVC, it's double glazed, and they're obviously all operable and everything like that. So the Durisol ICF, which is the walls, this was meant to be a few slides back, I apologise. So it's optimised R values, they range from 1.5 to 3.9. The webbing is obviously highly insulative. Concrete core fill to provide the structure of the building, but it's also the thermal mass. And so the way it works is you've got insulation on the outside, inside, and a solid thermal mass in the middle. So that actually creates a really good system for insulation. It helps isolate the inside from the outside. So there's no thermal bridging, and that's really important in sustainable building. I've got actually a slide to show you later. It's fireproof, it's certified completely non-combustible, it's more airtight than conventional building methods, it's not moisture sensitive, water just flows through it if necessary, termites don't touch it, it's going to survive a hurricane, and it inhibits mould growth too, so it's got a high pH within the material, so mould doesn't grow. So this is thermal bridging, that's a conventional house construction. And this is what a Durisol house looks like under thermal imaging and sustainable house, I think, quick plug. I think you guys do that type of imaging too. Now the roof. Now we, unfortunately, budget permitting, we could only go with best practices with standard construction methods. So we've gone R5 to R7 or R5.5 to R7 ceiling insulation. We've sealed the eaves and we put a 50mm blanket up against the roof iron. So that helps create a sealed space in the roof, but it's not the best way. The best way you can do is actually using a completely sealed system. Recycled timber, so throughout the house, and you'll see it if you come up, I really encourage you to do, because these photos don't even do it justice, I'm a pretty terrible photographer. But the columns, you've got the trusses, veranda posts, balustradings, feature lintels and sills. So here they are here. So this is the main area of the house, and we've got the columns and these trusses, which are obviously holding the roof up. And they're 250 by 250, so they're quite substantial. They really need to be seen to be believed. And then on the outside, so that truss there used to be a bridge at the top, and then the louvres as well from the modulars of bridge. And as you can see, these veranda posts, they're jarrah. They used to be a jetty. So we've sanded and oiled those, and they look absolutely stunning. This is the other veranda, and so you've got the same jarrah veranda posts, and then the louvres up through the top, and then the balustrading here and here. That used to be a bridge, so you can actually see some of the bitumen still on it that we've sanded back and oiled. And yeah, so that's the recycled timber. I really encourage you to come up and see it. Fire safety, it's not necessarily sustainable, but it's big. I don't have much time, so I won't go into it now. But essentially, if you're building in the hills and you're building sustainably, always consider fire as well, because the legislation isn't quite up to scratch. So Piccadilly House, well, that's what we've affectionately named it. Love to see you there, 69 Sprigg Road. We'll be there from 10 till 2 on Saturday. Feel free to check it out on the website and check out our website. I'll be around if anyone has any more questions. Thank you.